Had one slice of pie too many this Thanksgiving? Don't worry, we've got weight loss experts UCLA who can show you how to lose 2,500 pounds of offense in just 1 week.
And legendary magician Mike Slive is here, who's going to debut his brand new illusion, how to make SEC teams disappear from the playoff. It's time to wake up, college football! Welcome to the Rivalry Week edition of Wake Up College Football, brought to you by Ubisoft's Shape Up. And before we get into all of the fun, awesome, unexpected, and meaningful things, here is Nebraska's punting game.
Ooh, man.
It looked like, on first glance, into the butt, which is a phrase I never thought I'd say on a college football show.
I'm surprised you haven't said it at the intro. Yeah,
that's true. But it goes right into the head.
Right into the head.
Yeah.
Retrieved by the opposing team. Touchdown.
That's one way for Iowa to go about offense.
That is almost the only way for Iowa to go about offense.
It is a very successful way.
Nebraska managed to do this ridiculous punt and win the game. Rivalry week is super dumb sometimes.
It can be super dumb, but let's get into the actual awesome things first. To you, an exciting Thursday, Friday, Saturday of Rivalry Week. What was your most awesome takeaway?
So I will go with Georgia Tech upsetting Georgia in overtime.
Last second.
I think this is the second time they've won this game in the last 14 years. So it's not exactly a back and forth rivalry in recent history.
Correct.
Zach Lasky was great on the ground for Georgia Tech, had like 140 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
A very weird game that featured a bunch of fumbles at the 1-yard line and missed field goals and block kicks. But Georgia Tech wins. They move on. They were going to move on either way to play Florida State in the SEC title game. But there is this weird chance that Georgia Tech is in the playoff conversation now. They've lost 2 games.
That's true. They're 10-2.
They have a very big out-of-conference win now.
Yes, they do.
If they can beat Florida State...
And they could have an enormous headline win, which would... So we have SEC teams with 2 losses now that are on the fringe, even though we could have a Big 12 team in Baylor next week that could have 2 losses. Oregon, Arizona, there are all these teams that are hovering.
Could have a Big 10 team that has 2 losses.
This is correct, in Ohio State. That's all true. Very fun to see. My awesome thing, TCU. Going to Texas, a Texas team that had improved in November, offensively and defensively. They looked like a different team from where they were early on, perhaps against BYU, against UCLA. And TCU, even though the offense wasn't on the level as we've seen in recent weeks from the Frogs, their defense, 6 turnovers forced, allowed Texas nothing. 3 points through 3 quarters. It was still Aaron Green, the backup running back in there for the injured B.J. Catalon. And they needed that win after the Kansas performance. They needed a dominating special teams defense, pretty good offense, coupled with Baylor's really shoddy game defensively and the Bryce Petty injury against Texas Tech. It was an up week for TCU.
Against a Texas Tech team that has scared pretty much nobody this year. So
TCU dropped an 80 spot.
TCU is doing everything it needs to do. Got a little bit of help yesterday, certainly, with Mississippi State losing.
And Ohio State's situation, which we'll get into in a second. What 2 were you not expecting?
So I will say Missouri, because at the beginning of the season, obviously Missouri comes in the reigning SEC East champion, loses a bunch of talent to the NFL, to graduating. Everybody, I think SEC Media Days, they were picked 4th, to finish 4th by the media in the East. Here they are, back on top.
Defense might be even better.
It might be even better. They're going to play Alabama in the SEC championship game, and this is the best defense Alabama has faced since the Mississippi game. They're great against the pass, and as we've talked about before, what makes them so difficult to play against is they don't need to send 6 guys to get pressure on you. They can send 4, and Blake Sims is going to have a very tough time.
That's a silver bullet. If you can get pressure with 4, that becomes very difficult. Blake Sims, who was good yesterday, but did have some struggles.
Yes, they were down. Arkansas went up in this game early. I think it was 14-3 halfway through the second quarter. They shut Arkansas out the rest of the game.
Arguably the hottest team in the SEC, Arkansas. No, it was crazy impressive.
Very impressive that they were able to weather the storm, going on the road to Tennessee, beating Arkansas, taking a hold of the SEC East title. Gary Pinkel does not get enough credit for what he has done with this Missouri team since they entered the SEC.
No, all we need is an average performance from Matty Mock to make this a really good game against Alabama. My unexpected thing, it's probably the combination of the egg and iron bowl. Just the things that happen, how it transpired.
The iron egg.
The iron egg. That sounds terrible.
It's a Game of Thrones thing, probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We'll see. The Iron Bowl, 99 points. Ridiculous offense
as
in this game.
As we all suck.
As we all expected.
Classic SEC
what are we,
football.
3 years removed from 9-6,
Yeah.
the Bama LSU game?
Yeah.
Now we've got a 99-point Iron Bowl. We've got Gus Malzahn in his amazing first half. Nick Marshall could not have been better. The receivers, Sammy Coates, Quan Bray, all of those guys could not have lit up Alabama's secondary more. The adjustments at halftime from Alabama were fantastic. And then the big surprise to me, even though we've seen this a lot, Alabama really just locked everything down, distanced themselves, turned Auburn over, could not have seen the shootout coming. And then in the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State allowing the number of huge plays. It's not like Bo Wallace was a crazy efficient quarterback, but they made huge plays. They were able to get huge plays on the ground with the running game. It's ridiculous that Ole Miss, and I mean that in an impressive way, bouncing back from the Arkansas game to the point where they really put on a very nice offensive clinic.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to be the one sort of down guy here with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's great, quite possibly the best receiver in college football this year. Yeah. Auburn's pass defense is terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
They're not good, and I don't mean that shouldn't take away that much from what Amari Cooper was able to do, but I really don't think he's going to have that kind of open space against Missouri.
Right.
And
no.
Blake Sims is not going to have the time that he had in the pocket.
But you know who you want against Missouri's secondary? Amari Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's who you want.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we continue, we are now going to turn to our health and fitness expert, Nathan Seichert, for all sorts of tasty nutrition tips.
Thanks, Dan. Now we are well into football season, which can only mean one thing. You're packing on the LBs. That's industry talk for gaining weight. Now, while chili dogs and toaster strudels might have sweetened up those pregame celebrations back in September, your body's starting to feel the effects. So why not try a healthy alternative like a smoothie? Be sure to pack in the protein and a cherry on top. All done. Healthy. But of course there's another alternative, and that's playing Ubisoft's new game Shape Up, which gives you all the fun of a video game while also keeping you fit and healthy. It's fun. I feel a breeze between my legs. Ooh, my body cracked. Whole game's like that? Man, why do I keep drinking these smoothies? Anyway, be sure to check out Shape Up, only on the Xbox One. Back to you guys. Need more sardines.
All right, thanks, Nathan. I can't unsee that. I don't know if I really should be thanking him, but let's get into something.
Did we pay him?
Sardines.
Let's not.
No. Something more meaningful than that.
Yeah.
To you, what meant the most about Rivalry Week moving forward?
UCLA loses to Stanford in very UCLA way. The Pac-12 South was just sitting there waiting for them.
Right, who could have seen UCLA letting down?
And they just dropped it all over the floor in pieces.
But the
Arizona comes along and picks it up, and it's theirs, baby. And this Arizona team has had its missteps. They had a heartbreaking loss to USC. They looked terrible against that same UCLA game.
Really bad on
UCLA
offense.
team.
Yeah.
But now Rich Rod is only the second coach in Arizona history to win 10 games.
Yep, and he's got the oil futures as a reward.
And they've got a chance to win their first Pac-10/12 championship ever.
Outright, yeah.
Outright ever.
It's Nick Wilson. Yeah.
Yep, Wilson.
That's the name.
He was so fantastic on the ground. Mm-hmm. They never trailed against Arizona State.
Right.
They are, I mean, look, you're an Oregon fan, obviously.
I am.
We saw what Arizona was able to do against Oregon on the road. This will be neutral site.
Yes.
I think Oregon is a better team than they were in that first game.
Yes, they were. They're a healthier team, probably.
But if Arizona is a two-loss team that's beaten Oregon twice, that's a hell of a case to make for the playoff committee.
They're in a top-level conversation.
That is a really good
That is a
conversation.
chip that nobody has.
Yeah.
Those two type wins. To me, the most meaningful thing was also probably the most heartbreaking thing. J.T. Barrett's injury. Ohio State, it was a bit unexpected for Michigan to hang around, and actually, it's unexpected that Ohio State's defense has not improved over the course of this season.
Not markedly. Yeah.
No, but the meaningful thing about the game, the takeaway here is, how do we judge Ohio State moving forward? Mm-hmm. If they end up winning the Big Ten championship against a good Wisconsin team, but it'll be with Cardale Jones. It'll be with their third-string quarterback, who's had no meaningful reps this season.
Right.
And it's it's JT Barrett was that guy that took the steps this season, and now we really have no concept, and how could we, for what Ohio State can do against a really good team.
Yeah, give Urban Meyer a lot of credit.
Yes.
This is Ohio State's third season in a row, finishing undefeated in regular season conference play.
That's stupid
That's
good.
insane.
Yeah.
And he's done it with all kinds of injuries at the quarterback position, having lost players all over the field. So I think if there's a team that's equipped to handle this kind of problem,
they've run the ball really well.
Ohio State.
That's the saving grace.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott is a name that more people should know.
It will be a shame if the playoff committee decides, well, JT Barrett's out, and on that merit, that's why you're not in the playoff. I think that will be kind of frustrating.
True. All right, you see the mug in front of you. We have a contest every week.
Yeah.
Yesterday we asked for the most adorable moment in college football's Rivalry Week. It goes to Taylor for pointing out this picture of Bobby Petrino and a Kentucky assistant really getting each other's face.
No, he's just like, you got something in your teeth. Let me
clean
see.
up.
Let me see.
Floss. That's not what he was saying at all.
Eating greens is good. Just, make sure.
Take care. Take care of the mouth. All right, Taylor, congratulations, and to the rest of you, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.